Lassen might look peaceful today, but the chance it erupts again? Not zero.
And that chance, about 2% in the next 30 years, it's not going away. The ground here still moves, the earth still breathes, and scientists say this volcanic system is very much alive.
You can feel it and smell it. The bubbling mud pots, strong, pungent sulfur smells, the constant steam rising from places it shouldn't. It's stunning, but all of it is a reminder that this place is still cooking beneath the surface.
Lassen has erupted before, violently, and history says it'll erupt again, maybe far in the future, maybe closer than anyone expects. If you want to see this landscape as it is right now, visit sooner rather than later.
We made Lassen our national park number 61
And 60 for me.
because we didn't want to miss this moment, this version of the park, before nature decides to rewrite it.
So if Lassen is on your list, don't wait.
We're Jay and Bea, and at the beginning of 2021, we hit the road. Permanently. We traded our city apartment for a constant stream of Airbnbs, new states, and places. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Come along with us as we explore all the U.S. and beyond has to offer. And join us as we continue
Living on the Way.
Hello there, and welcome back to Living on the Way, the podcast where we share our life of travel with you. And on today's quick take, we're taking you along with us as we explore Lassen Volcanic National Park.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Bea.
Yeah, we had a chance to explore Bumpass Hell. We took the nice scenic drive through the whole park. And I also took the opportunity to climb all the way to the top of Lassen Peak, all 10,457 feet of it.
Lassen Volcanic National Park is one of the few places on Earth where you can see all four types of volcanoes. I guess it's a shield volcano, plug dome, cinder cone, and the stratovolcano. And you can see them all in the same park, which is something I didn't realize.
Didn't know about the 4 different types of volcanoes, or at least I had forgotten. But it was interesting to learn about them. The visitor center has info, the pamphlets have info, and our guide along was telling us about it as well.
You're joining us via video podcast. We're on location here, and you can kind of see the mountains, volcanoes in the distance, but you're going to see in the front here a lot of fire damage. And in 2021, 70% of the park burned. And so you're seeing a lot of those scars, and they're still coming back from that with their infrastructure.
The entire park is open, the road is open, but many of the acres of forest is in a burn state, as you would still imagine.
But it definitely does not hinder wildlife here. So we saw mule deer.
Lots of mule deer.
Lots of mule deer. I think we saw a gray fox. Can't tell what it was, or it was a coyote. But I guess also gray wolves are making their comeback here, which we did not see.
Yeah, the gray fox was cool to see, and then the mule deer with the giant antlers.
Oh, we did see one of those with big antlers. I forgot about him.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was a big boy. A few final facts about the park. It was established in 1916, and it actually spans 106,000 acres, and it's a lot bigger than what you actually can explore easily as a tourist. They have one road that goes through the park and it's out and back, and it has a lot to do along that road. It's a geothermal wonderland because you have things like sulfur works and Boiling Springs Lake and some fumaroles. And that leads us to the first thing we did in Lassen Volcanic National Park after we drove through the whole park, and that was Bumpass Hell Trail. And it's a 3-mile round-trip hike, and it leads to a large hydrothermal basin. And it's one of the most visually stunning spots, I would say, in the entire park. It reminds you of Yellowstone, and obviously on a much smaller scale.
It's a technical, easy to moderate hike, I'd say. About 300 foot of a descent to go down to the actual geothermal features, get up close, get a good smell on, see them bubbling. And got the cool different colors that you can see down there.
They have a boardwalk down there to keep you safe because the story goes that Bumpass, the guy who originally found it, kept bringing people there and stepped in it multiple times to the point we had to have his leg amputated. So the geothermal features can be very dangerous, the mud pots and the sulfur springs. So that boardwalk there is actually a really helpful feature. Yeah, so we came down Bumpass Hell Trail, and then we decided there's a little overlook, and then you can go up this little loop side called the Frying Pan, I believe it was. I'll have it on screen if you're watching via video. But it was kind of the same kind of hike, but there was less people there on our way back up. That was kind of interesting because it had a couple more features on that little trail too.
If you're able, get down and see these geothermal features up close. Get the smell, which is not a good smell, but it smells. But then really get to see those colors and how they pop against the landscape.
But it is a hike back out, so just be aware of that.
Yeah, 300 foot back up.
And I think one of my favorite things as driving through the park and also on the Bumpass Hell Trail is the wildflowers. It's actually really in bloom right now. Beautiful purple flowers, fragrant. It was very nice. And then driving through, because the landscape is, again, dead because of the wildfires, but also because it's that time of year here. It's late August, so all the grass is kind of dying off. But the flowers, beautiful blooming flowers. So that's something I really enjoyed. And because it's just one road all the way through the park, there's a lot of accessible things you can get out and see. There's like a little mud pot just right off the road. You actually can see it bubbling and boiling when you're driving by. You can just jump in the parking lot, look at that. There's a couple other sulfur vents. So you don't have to go down Bumpass Hell, although if you can, do. But there are a lot of features you can look at. So that was our full day in the park, and then Jay actually went back in for round 2.
I'd take the opportunity to hike up an active volcano zone. Since this area went off in 1915, it's technically not supposed to go off anytime soon, but wanted to do it while I had a chance. It was a very interesting hike, very large parking lot at the beginning, and about 5 miles round trip, so it's about 2.5 miles straight up to that 10,457 peak.
Which elevation did you gain?
It's only about 2,000 feet, so it's very doable. They got a nice path. Last little bit's got a little bit of a rock scramble, a little more technical, but most of it's just a nice wide path all the way up with beautiful views. You get up, you see the pikas, you see the squirrels, you see all the flowers up close, and of course then you can start to see how big the landscape really is. You can see all the lakes in the distance, see the other different types of volcanoes, the other peaks in and around the park. So it is a must-do if you're able to do the hike, because you can really get the scale and feel for the entire volcanic area.
And don't get it wrong here, it is a hard hike. So if you are able to do hard hikes, I'm still getting to that point, so that's why I sat out and did some work for the day.
Absolutely.
So this was park number 61 for me.
And 60 for me.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a park that's both a geothermal wonderland and has that volcanic monument feel to it, where you can just see through time how it's kind of evolved over time.
Yeah, it changed the landscape for sure. It went off 27,000 years ago, went off 100 years ago. And honestly, if you want to learn more about it, which I did, wasn't an expert, and still not an expert, but I know much more after visiting the visitor center. They really do teach you about the different types of volcanoes and how these ones around this area changed the landscape.
It's a little bit out of the way. It's not a very popular park compared to, some of the bigger guys, but if you're up this way, it's glad we had a couple days here. So you've heard our story. Now we'd love to hear yours. Have you been to Lassen? Is Lassen on your list of must-dos? Have you walked through these steaming geothermal features? Let us know. We love having you along on our journey. Also, follow or subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, we will be
living on the way.